Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Jeremy Crosby here, and about to be joined by one of our two favorite Hy-Vee dietitians. We've got Amy back here. Amy, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today on Dairy Month?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
It's Dairy Month, so I'm doing just it's my month. Today we're going to take a deep dive into yogurt, and you've got some fun recipes that we're going to get to. But as we explore the different things of Dairy Month, yogurt, it's definitely seen some big movements in the last couple of years. And what do you say as a dietitian, as people that are like, hey, I want to get on the yogurt train?
I say come on board. It's a great train to be on. So yes, yogurt is good for a lot of different reasons. It's lots of good nutrition that we'll talk about. It's very versatile. There's a lot of there's a lot of different types. You can use it in different ways. So absolutely, definitely good to include yogurt in the diet.
Certainly is. And sometimes you don't want to know how things are made, but in this case, I think curiosity wise, how is yogurt made?
Yes. So yogurt. So to make yogurt, they start with milk. So you just start with regular milk, and then they add bacteria, or yogurt cultures is another word you'll hear for it, to milk. And then basically it just goes through a fermentation process. It starts as milk. It just ends up as a thicker product. And then it can then split into a further straining process, which gets us to more of a Greek yogurt product. So that's where we have our kind of main two categories of just regular and then a Greek yogurt.
This reminds me way back in the long days ago, not then, yeah, we'll just leave that alone. But we have, I worked at a grocery store, stocked yogurt, and I remember yogurts being, there were so many different flavors then. Now it's like triple the amount. And the very light, and this, I mean, it's like air now in some of the products. But the different types and varieties, what do you suggest when you're trying to pick something out in the yogurt world?
Sure. And it kind of depends on a couple of things. So some people I've noticed in working with customers over the years, some people really don't like the taste of the Greek yogurt. It does have a little bit more like a tangier taste, a little bit, not necessarily sour, but it is a little bit different. So some people that may not appeal to them, and that's fine. So I'll steer them more in the direction of a regular yogurt. And then for other people, what their goals are. So if somebody's looking for a higher protein, we'll steer them towards Greek yogurt. It depends a little bit on what people are looking for. We can find something that's going to suit everybody's tastes and preferences and different nutritional needs as well.
Yeah, I'm one of those that feel like Greek yogurt has a weird, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Tangy might be the right thing, but still a lot of good choices out there and good benefits to yogurt. What's the one that you look for when you're picking something out for yogurt?
Personally, I don't mind the tangier taste. I like the thicker texture of the Greek yogurt too. So that's usually what I'll go for. Actually, what I had for breakfast this morning, started the day with a serving a Greek yogurt. That's usually my go-to. So it just, again, kind of depends on what people are looking for.
Health benefits wise, there's definitely a lot of choice or a lot of things that you can get out of yogurt, and why you may want to work it into your diet. Source of calcium is one that stands out to me, but what else can we find in there?
Yes, so calcium is definitely one. An interesting thing to keep in mind too, and this might be something most people are not aware of, is that when it comes to calcium in yogurt, the regular yogurt tends to be a little bit higher in calcium than your Greek yogurt. Sometimes it gets strained out a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind if that's your primary reason for eating it. But they will both contain calcium. Protein is another one. So Greek yogurt typically has more protein because it goes through that straining process. So sometimes 2 to 3 times more protein than a regular yogurt. It also has really good things like phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, really important nutrients for different things like regulating blood pressure, bone health, metabolism, things like that. So really important nutrients there. And then the last one I will mention for yogurt is that it contains probiotics. So because it is a fermented product, it contains probiotics, which are basically beneficial bacteria that promote good digestive and gut health.
It's just another benefit there to yogurt.
Yep.
Now let's turn to our friends that dairy products sometimes doesn't quite equal good stomach issues, and we're talking about lactose issues and tolerances. There's ways around it and still enjoy some of your favorite yogurt.
Yes. So because yogurt is fermented, during that process, some of the lactose in yogurt basically goes away, for lack of a better way to say it. So you end up with a product that's lower in lactose than, say, a glass of milk would be. Especially Greek yogurt, because it does go through more straining, tends to end up being lower in lactose. So, people with lactose intolerance may be able to tolerate Greek yogurt fine without any kind of, over-the-counter supplement, because it has that lower concentration of lactose.
That's good news for you dairy lovers out there. That's a
Is
good
good
thing.
news.
All right,
Yes.
let's talk about getting this into your diet, because there are some things that you have shared with us with some great recipes on how to add this in as to balance off some of these things. So if you're thinking about incorporating this into your diet, besides just buying yogurt and eating it, you can put it in some of the food that you already eat.
Yes. So one thing to keep in mind too, I think most people automatically assume yogurt as a sweet flavor, because usually it's served that way. Sweeteners are added, fruit is added. Yogurt can also be used in savory dishes as well. So if you start with a plain yogurt that has no flavoring added to it at all, it essentially is going to taste very similar to sour cream. So you can swap it out for sour cream and lots of different things. So, I use plain Greek yogurt. You can use it to top off like tacos or quesadillas. I use it as a base for dips. Put it even just with some ranch mix and create a vegetable dip. So you can use it savory as well as sweet.
Yeah, you just don't buy the strawberry flavor or whatever.
Yes.
You're buying plain
I
yogurt
know.
and mixing in, not to strawberry mango or whatever flavor you can get out there. All right, let's talk about some treats here, because when we talked about putting this segment together, you shared this recipe with me, and I said, "What are you talking about?" And it's called frozen yogurt bark. And you're telling me that this is an awesome recipe.
It is an awesome recipe, and it's so good for summer. So you're starting with yogurt, you're mixing in some different things like fresh fruit. You can mix in some granola, some nuts. The recipe we provided has specific fruits listed, but you could swap them out for different things. If that's not your favorite, just throw in something different. And then you essentially just spread it out in a baking sheet and freeze it, and then break it into smaller pieces. So you're getting a bark like treat. And it'll be really cold and refreshing on a summer day.
Yeah, it sounds pretty amazing, and yeah, mixing in the different fruits looks like it's pretty good. But another one too
Mm.
you've got is red, white, and blue yogurt pop. So we're staying in kind of the frozen yogurt area, which again, I
Yep.
would have never imagined freezing yogurt for a treat, but darn, it looks good.
Yeah, this one is visually really nice too. So if you're going for presentation, this might be a good one to start with. Again, incorporating different types of fruit with yogurt. If you have popsicle molds, you can build it in there. And again, just a really nice, refreshing, light summer treat.
And finally, just since you did talk about incorporating the dips, there is a recipe that you have here on kind of a simple yogurt dill dip recipe. But you're saying it's pretty easy to mix it in as a substitute, maybe to something that makes it more creamy or something, but make it a little bit more healthier.
Yeah. And what's nice too, especially if you're using the Greek yogurt, you are getting that little bit extra protein boost. So, especially for people who are really struggling to get protein into a meal or a snack, using that as a substitution is a nice way to get that in.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good. Amy, another great job with the recipes. And if people want to learn more about yogurt or just having a discussion with the dietitian, because maybe you're still like, okay, it's yogurt and it may be good, but I'm still just not sure where I want to go with this. What would you recommend?
Yes. So always good to reach out to a Hy-Vee dietitian. Even if you just have a couple of questions, we're happy to help. You don't necessarily have to set up a formal appointment to chat with one of us. Best way to get in touch is to go to hyvee.com/health. We have a dietitian page there, and you can connect with one of us. If you have a question, hey, I don't know how to pick a good yogurt. Can you help me out? Absolutely. That's something that we can do with you. So no question is too big or small. we're just here to help people.
All right. Well, Amy, I just want to say thank you because today is your last segment with us, and certainly we've appreciated all the great recipes, you putting up with my random questions, but more importantly, you've shared some really great information over the last year, so you're definitely going to be missed here. We wish you best on your next adventure, but you're always welcome back here at Talking Fitchburg and for the residents of Fitchburg.
Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed my my segments here. So yeah, I will miss you as well.
That is Amy from the, excuse me, Hy-Vee, a dietitian. We'll still be working with Hy-Vee and dietitians, but certainly Amy has done a great job and we'll miss her. But hey, you've got a lot of great tips from her over the last year, and we'll continue to share those here on Talking Fitchburg.